My name is Bill Birmingham, and today we're going to be talking about the recovery of pottery sherds from Lynn Lake, assembling of the pots from over the years of collecting the pottery sherds, finally gluing them together. So back in the mid-60s, there was a big log jam on the Guadalupe River, and as this log jam was getting larger and larger, it would be like a dam, act like a dam, and that water level would rise, and this normal small lake was filled up and rose up to probably 5 feet above normal. And as it would rise up, the shoreline would be right into the Indian sites, a number of Indian sites. There's four or five Indian sites along the shoreline, and the southern shoreline of Lynn Lake. And as over the years, as the wind would blow and the wave action would wash into the site, you would expose artifacts, dart points, arrow points, pottery. And over the years, I would collect the pottery sherds little by little. And as the flood would came in, like the '98 flood, well, that washed some stuff out, material out. And as time went by, I would have, these pottery sherds I would have in one certain location, a bag, in other words, documenting them. And then as I'd find more, I would come in and put them together. And then each time I would find something, I would find the pieces together to like this bottom part. I would piece it together to come out with the bottom part. And then later on, as I found more sherds, I knew that it fit this particular pot because of the exterior and the interior and the midsection of it, with the slip and the temper, interior temper. And so I would just little at a time piece it together. And then once, 27 years after I found the first set of sherds, I pieced together the top of it and actually fit it together. And then the backing, you would turn this around. Okay, as you can see in the back, it has a wire frame to supporting this, because these are only two contacts right here. And without that, I had a wire frame, and then I used polyvinyl acetate dissolved in acetone. And this would be like a glue, and it is reversible. You can actually dissolve that with acetone, and it would come apart. And it's hung up by this single rod going up here for display. But as you can see, the interior is real gray. And I don't know if you can see that, but right in here, it's a little bit different color. Now it's probably either exposed to fire or and this whole section here was a different color because it's probably exposed to the weather or fire. And then 27 years later, I was out at the site and discovered the rim of the same pot that I'd 41 VT83. I found the rim sherds. I pieced those together, and I could tell by the core of the pottery and the exterior and interior colors that it belonged to this one particular pot, this one that's setting up here now. Like I can look at a piece and maybe 30 minutes later, I'll be going through another sherd and the light goes off and your brain says, hey, this fits this one. And sure enough, it does. Or you can just by chance, you just looking at visual, you say, well, that fits right there, and sure enough, it does. And you go by like this one has this asphaltum on it, you can go by that, the color, or if there's any lines, little lines that when they were smoothing out the slip, there's all kind of little tricks that you can use. But basically, it's just a matter of having a memory that you can photograph in your mind what pieces go to what. I'd found, and 27 years ago, it's actually 30-some years now, but this bottom part, I found it. And then later on, I found part of this rim. And then later on, I found this midsection here, this little section of pottery sherds, and finally glued those together and finally assembled it. And this is what you call a Rockport black on gray. In other words, the gray exterior with the black, which is the asphaltum, and that was a decoration added waterproofing. But on the exterior, they would decorate that with lines. Most of it's all gone now. Probably the last piece was, I think, this rim here. There was a section of this, and the rim is notched or crenellated rim, a little bit into V notches, put all the way along the rim, plus parallel lines. They call that incising. And so this is a black on gray, Rockport black on gray, incised, crenellated rim. Pottery sherds are pretty common to find along the shorelines of the bays and rivers along, down on the coast. But to find one this complete is very rare. The Museum of Coastal Bend in Victoria at Victoria College has a very excellent museum, and that's why it was donated to the museum for all to see and do research. Well, I'll just take this back home with me. Oh, golly!